sing for eternity. Without God and His Son, Jesus, everything is peaceful and brightness. Happy always doing His will. Happy always doing His will.
Yahoo! What a great crowd. Give a hand to the most incredible audience on the planet. Right here. You guys are so encouraging. And so we're here at season 14, episode 11, and we have got things tonight that will completely get you motivated, because on this stage tonight, I mean, if you added our weight loss, I mean, it's well over 200 pounds, probably edging on more, you know, more like 3. So it's a good group that kept it off. But the biggest thing is these guys have kept all this off for absolutely years and years and years. So we're talking about a group that knows how to make it permanent. Please join Ted and I in welcoming Rob Day, Lisa Peters, Teresa Marie, and Jane Dubois. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and we have a group that has lost weight to kick this off, and so if they can line up over here and go through the weight loss, we're going to really have some motivation tonight.
My name is Jill Smith, and I am honored and excited to be here tonight to stand before you to say that I have lost over 90 pounds off now almost 18 years, and I can testify that Way Down works.
Woohoo!
Hi, I'm Terry Metters, and I'm from Nashville, Tennessee, and through this program, the Way Down program, I lost 170 pounds. And I wanted to be the first one to say, Way Down really works.
Hi, I'm Jamie Field. I started Way Down, actually December 24th, 2017 was my first Way Down class I started. It's the gift that just keeps giving. I'm so excited for this launch of this new book. It's amazing, and it works. It truly, truly works, and I'm just so grateful to get to stand here and share that. Praise God.
My name is Terrell Cohen, and I am so humbled to be here, to be able to say that 3 years ago, I was able to find Way Down at a time in my life when I was ready to change. And God had blessed me so much with being able to find Way Down and find Gwen, and to be able to lose over 100 pounds in the first year and keep it off for the next 3. And I am so encouraged to share with you that even being type 2 diabetic, being able to get off of insulin and being able to get off of medications and being able to turn my focus up and not to be a lustful and angry man anymore, my life has completely changed, and it can change your life too, because Way Down works.
Hi, my name is Jessica Enns, and I'm from Manitoba, Canada originally, and I found Way Down in 2013. And I went on to lose 120 pounds and have kept it off for 4 years now through a pregnancy, lost all that pregnancy weight, and just freed from depression, and my whole life has changed, my whole family has changed, and Way Down truly, truly does work.
Hello, everyone. My name is Adam Barnhart, and I've had 75 pounds off for 9 years because of Way Down. And when I think of words like freedom, when I think of words like happiness and joy, this is what is engulfed in this program. I praise God for introducing it into my life. I was wrapped up the majority of my life in overindulgence of alcohol and food, and because of this program, I have been set free from all of it. Way Down works. Praise God.
I'm actually sad they're leaving the stage for a second, because I was going to throw back up every one of their before pictures and let you flip back through that and then look at them one more time, because everyone's talking about almost over 100 pounds. They're all in the book except for Adam at the end, and but it's amazing what God has done. But if we can slide through their before pictures again very quickly. There's Jill, there's Terry Metters, okay, Jamie, Terrell, and the ends, and Adam. Okay, is that not amazing to see life so drastically changed and different? Wow. I think none of us up here can boast 100 except for Jane, but I can't even imagine, losing that much and being such a totally different looking, different feeling person, and then keep it off for that long. So it's absolutely amazing. So why don't we start tonight with Rob Day, and just what we're basically tonight is about, I guess, a book launch. I don't know if that's been said yet or not, but we're definitely praying that God gets this word out to a hurting world. And so we're going to start with Rob Day.
First of all, I'm honored to be here. It is exciting to be up here and this book launch. And it's interesting because there's a lot of, if you look at authors or different programs out there, they try to relaunch books after a period of time. And a lot of times it's just to try to recycle something. And, what's interesting to me about, or what stands out to me about your book and Way Down is when I think back to probably, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I would assume when you wrote your first book, and even before that, when you kicked off Way Down, that it was faith. You had faith that this would work. You knew God was telling you that even though it went against maybe what the scientists were saying and the doctors were saying and the dietetics were saying, you knew that this was right and it was from God, and you launched it. And now here we are 30 years later, and it's no longer by faith, it's by evidence. And what we saw over here and what we're going to hear here on stage, people have not only put into practice, they've lost their way, they kept it off. And, if I look back of everyone that I've ever known that has yo-yoed or been on diets, I really can't think of one person that I know. And I'm in a situation, my life has been where I've been in contact and touch and know literally thousands of people. And I don't know one person that I can say they went to some other program, implemented it, and you look up 10, 15, 20, 30 years later, and the weight's still off. That doesn't exist anywhere out there. For us, just briefly, the first time I was introduced to Way Down, it was something my wife was doing back in the late 90s, which is a story, as Way Down was all over the world. She had gained some weight through her first 3 pregnancies, found Way Down through our church at the time, and lost, I think it was 50 pounds or 60 pounds, and be honest with you, at the time, I'd always, it was the age I was at, and had always been in athletics, and so I hadn't experienced any kind of a weight gain or anything, and I was, and also being the arrogant, rude man that I had become, when she did it, it was, and she was so excited about it. It was my attitude was almost from my guys, like it was, I knew it was working, but I thought you could do this a lot of different ways. Because I didn't know, I'd never had to go through that. I'd never had to go through a diet. And, but of course she did it. Thankfully, she didn't listen to me and did it and kept her weight off for the next decade. And then she had 2 more children. And for the first time, gained weight back again through the pregnancies. But she had lost, the first time she went through it, it was just a class. She didn't get connected with the ministry. She didn't get connected with the church, and actually thought Way Down was gone. And thankfully, tried a few other things and like we have all experienced, nothing worked. And then she found out that it was still around, and she reached out, lost her weight again, and that was the last 2009, and then has kept it off, since then. So really has had her weight off for 20 years now.
Right.
From when she first did it. Of course, right when that happened, as we first found the church, for the first time, I kind of got hit with that. The weight starts going up. And thankfully, within a year of that starting to happen to me, we found it, and I lost 30 pounds and have kept it off since that period of time. But what caught my attention really the second time was I didn't question it at all the second time around, because I knew by the evidence of just watching my wife and the fact that she did it one time and put it into practice, and what all the naysayers had said out there, that, all the negative statements, there's a million out, so I'm not gonna go over them, they were all wrong. Not one bad thing happened. It was nothing but good. She had incredible health. She didn't get too skinny. She got her perfect weight and kept it off the entire time. And so I know our family's been blessed with it, and to know, and then just as you meet people, to know that you actually have something that you could point them to. I think that's probably been one of the things that I love to do, is point people to the correct answer. And to know that when I run into somebody who has an issue with weight, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that I can point them here, and if they truly want to change and get their way, this is something that will be permanent and last for the rest of their life.
Beautiful, beautiful testimony. Awesome. Darling Tiffany, I mean, my goodness, what a family, what a couple. You guys are always pointing people to the truth. So that's neat. Isn't that fun? Like, get your weight off, and been gone for years, and you don't have to worry. And then your children now are getting married, having children, and the girls are always like within, it's perfect pregnancies, blue ribbon babies, and then they have their weight off in like a couple of hours after delivery.
Yeah. No,
that's what it looks like. I'm sorry, but their kids, it's like they always like,
yeah.
Did y'all just had the baby, right? Like, I didn't get mixed up on this time, No,
I'm so glad you said that, because we've had, two of our own daughters and our daughter-in-law. Our oldest daughter's had 2 children, and our daughter and daughter-in-law in the last 3 months have each had a child. And if you were to look at them, you would have no idea
that they had a child.
Had any kids.
And
this
that's
is within months.
The way God made it. That's not something to be jealous of, or they're special. That's just the way. I mean, God. If you look at the world, that you don't see that postpartum weight and depression and all that comes with that overweight. So God really never intended for us to ever have the pain that we put ourselves through, because we don't have the truth, and the truth sets us free. So praise God. Praise God for those words. Okay, Miss Lisa Peters, who I've known forever, and my story with these two right here, little partners in crime, they didn't know boundaries back then, and so there was a we were at one of those seminars where there's 4,000 or 5,000 people there, and there's this huge curtain, and they pulled in some trailer or whatever at the convention center, and that was supposed to be a green room, which the curtain didn't stop them, neither did the door on the green room. Yeah, they were like knocking on, back there on the back, and so they were known as the girls from California. And the girls from California moved to Tennessee, and they've been nothing but a delight ever since. They're adorable, and so because we became good friends, because they were like Jacob and Esau. They were positioning themselves to get in close. So I loved it. I loved it. So, but anyway.
Well, thank you for having us. When we got invited, all of us were so honored. But you said something pivotal just now in your, when you opened that. You said the pain from not knowing. And I know that for me, when I was where his daughters and daughter-in-law just where they were, I truly didn't have this message of hope, of how to put principles into practice that we've learned here at Way Down, and then lose your weight. And that's what drove me to Way Down, was my third pregnancy. And I saw a friend lose weight, and she said she did this Bible study, and she lost her weight. And I thought, well, sign me up. And so I took my first class, but it was all about getting my weight off. And with Way Down, God uses the heart. So I gained my weight back in a year, and it was good, because that misery drove me back in 1998 to being so sick of living for myself that I called Way Down and said, please, how can I have a class? I went to someone's house. How do I do that? And that was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You can have 5 friends, have 5 people come, and that you guys graciously and generously sent us all of the videos and had a class. And so when I had that class in my home, then my dear longtime friend, Teresa Marie Jost, came too. And we were the last of the last that made it through the class. And not that, I want everybody to make it through a class, but we had to persevere.
Right.
To break through what was so deep in here. And Way Down taught us how to, through the principles that God's given you to write and teach these classes, it taught us how to break free from that bondage of greed that was in our hearts. And so my weight's been off since 1998, and I'm so thankful. And Way Down does work. And there's times in life where you're like, what's going on? Go back to the basics. You always teach us, go back to the basics. And Way Down has brought so many people through classes that you all become best friends, and you help each other, and now we're having grandbabies together.
Fun.
And we're watching our daughter-in-laws all lose their weight, because that's happened for our daughter-in-law, Abigail. She lost her weight right away with a healthy baby, and there she is expecting in that picture. But it's so sweet. Way Down does work, and it changed my life. And where would I be today without it? Well, I wouldn't have the precious man that God's allowed me to be married to for 34 years. He would have pitched me a long time ago. I was not a wonderful wife to be with, and we wouldn't be married. We wouldn't have what we have today. We work together today. We have our own business God's blessed us with. And so God's blessings are rich when you choose to live for Him. And you have taught us just lay down the food, and then the rest followed after that. And so we're so blessed. Way Down works, and it's fun. And so thank you for everything. And this new book is a life changer. Everybody needs it. It needs to be in every house around the world, because it's going to set people free. So I'm excited to be up here. Thank you.
I'm excited about the getting everybody back to the basics and getting everything grounded. Yeah. And I love it. I love it. So I'm going to jump to Jane. But Jane, we've known each other, like Jane would be what you would call like original, way on back when, before it even, went into the churches. Jane was good friends with Joyce, and then Joyce was one of those that had suggested that this belong in the churches to me, and so they were good friends, but they were in the original classes that got kicked off. And so Jane lost her weight, and you lost what,
108 pounds.
108 pounds, and have kept that off for all this time. It's amazing, isn't it? Amazing. Were you in some of the original books, maybe some of your testimonies or
I think the first
videos?
Well, I was at a DO. I did a testimony at DO 98, maybe.
Okay.
And also then Way Down at Home.
Right. Oh, you're in that.
I was in the pilot class for Way Down Advanced.
Okay.
Then Change Series.
Okay.
Testimony and Revolution.
So you've been able to be in all of those.
I've done all the classes.
See, look, there it is.
Ta-da. Ta-da.
No, but I think I was flipping through it today, and y'all are like, some of you, isn't that you right there? No? Anyway, you guys, I just saw your picture in the book. So y'all are, what page are y'all on?
173. I guess
173. Yep, that was the page I flipped by. So, but anyway, so you've been around, and so it's the real deal.
Oh.
What would you
Well, I had a childhood of being fat and started my first diet when I was 12. And then Joyce, I met you through Joyce, early 90s.
Right.
There were the slides. It wasn't VHS yet. And then really plugged into a class in the mid 90s and lost the weight, 108. It's been like 23 years now.
Yeah.
And
wow.
Well, revolutionary has been used many times, but it's absolutely true. How many diets I tried, I couldn't tell you, but I do know that this is the last program. Weigh Down Workshop is the revolutionary program that changed my life. Taught me how to purge greed, taught me how to have a relationship with God, which I never had before, even though I had been in churches. Taught me how to take responsibility rather than blaming the food, blaming my mom, blaming my DNA, whatever. And the weight has stayed off. And without this program going, without Weigh Down, I can't say honestly if I'd be alive. My weight kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I have a strong family history of diabetes and cardiovascular disease and this, that, the other. I know for a fact I'd be single. I'd have no kids. And now I am blessed with like 3 bonus daughters plus my own child, married. I would be single and desperate and depressed and surrounded by a bunch of dogs or something in a reclusive home. I don't know, but it would be miserable.
No, I understand.
Miserable.
Look how cute you are, Jane. I mean, adorable.
I'm just surrounded by blessings.
Adorable. I just think this. Hey, you can actually get her. Like, if you'll open up the page to 173, you can get her to sign, get her autograph.
I want your autograph.
But I mean, okay, so bottom line, you go back and look at it, because when I met Jane, I mean, Jane's got a PhD in psychology. Very few people go that far. I mean, they've got, you've got people that get degrees or whatever, but that's the length of time of MD or whatever. But I mean, it's like very specific in one category, whereas, medical school's so broad and then goes into a specialty. But even that, 2 years doesn't compare to years and years and years and years. And then to give so much, of that up. And then because so much of what we teach here, it puts psychology in a plain language. And I keep getting tickled because I see through the psychobabble a lot of times is they're coming back in there and using God's principles. So what does that say up there? 10? What page?
No, page 10. Yeah.
Does that say 10 or?
10.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now we've got, I don't see your picture on, wait, this.
There you go.
There you are. There's Lisa and Therese Marie there in the front. You can go to page 10 to get their autograph. And surely Robin, I know Ted's in here somewhere, probably 5 times. Ted's in here all over the place, Ted and Candace. But anyway, okay, so what a testimony. And then Therese Marie, like the little light of the world over here.
Well, I am so honored to be here. And we have had so much fun going through pictures of way back. And when you did a book tour.
Did y'all put it up? There it is.
Look at that, from way
See, there's
back.
Lisa, Jane, right sitting in the same position. And so y'all been, that was how many years ago?
Well,
16 and a half.
Yeah, so there's the update there. Anyway,
oh, this was
so
today.
fun.
Oh, I love this.
But, okay, so
you
I
look
did
younger.
my first class in 1998, and Lisa was my coordinator. And so I am so grateful because I had tried all kinds of diets, and they're talking about pregnancy weight and postpartum. I would still be postpartum, let me tell you. I didn't lose my weight after my pregnancies.
4 pregnancies.
Yeah, after 4. I didn't lose my weight. I was stuck and becoming miserable. So now I didn't really believe in Weigh Down yet because Lisa mentioned it, and I was just going to go to her house to do this class, Bible study. That sounds like so much fun. But the moment that I heard you, the moment I knew you were from God.
Aw,
And it's like I had
baby.
been searching for you all my life.
Aw.
And so so I lost my weight pretty quickly, you know. I mean, it was a huge trend. I started in February. By summer, I looked way different, really returning to what the way I had grown up. And so I asked my husband, can I go see Gwen in Tennessee? Please, she's having a conference. Can I please go? I just have to tell her what's happened to me and what's happened to us, because it also began to change our marriage.
Yeah.
And so I really wanted to meet you so bad. And going to the conference, I remember Jane gave a testimony in 1999 on stage, and I was like, I have to meet her. She's so sweet. And so it's so sweet how we got to be friends. But anyway, at the conference, I mean, you had such a long line of people. And I told Lisa, I'm like, I'm not going to stand in that line to meet Gwen. I'm going to wait until I can have lunch with her and talk with her. And that happened, you know. So, of course, we've had many lunches, dinners, all kinds of things, you know. So I'm so grateful. And, okay, so 1998, we're 2018. That is 20 years. 20
Our testimony
years.
is 20 years. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, and I mean, it's...
Who's friends for 20 years anymore? I mean, where you still like each other. I mean, that kind of thing. I mean, and not just we like each other better. We want to be with each other more. I mean, we're all desperate for time to...
You're so right. Like, we just loved, you know, we are desperate for time the way God has us in different places. We're so happy to be here together tonight.
This is
we
so
feel
fun.
like it's a big reunion for us. So it's very fun, but more than anything, okay, so we lost the weight, but we know that way down, like Lisa said, it's more than the weight. I mean, my marriage changed. I was going to get divorced. Okay, so the coolest thing is, so we were at year 10. I wanted a divorce. So 1/3 without Gwen in our life, 2/3 with Gwen. You know, so isn't that fun? and it's growing. We're getting closer. Our marriage is getting better. We love our family. We love everything that God has done for us. And Marcus and I at Thanksgiving, we're like, Marcus, we would not have this family. We were all at the Thanksgiving table, and you know, there's no bickering there's nothing but love there. And when I'm out in public and people are always asking me, do you love your granddaughters? I mean, do you like them all? And I'm like, yes, all of them, because they're all doing Way Down too. And they ask me, well, do your kids live close to you? Are they far away? We're all here. We're all together. We're all unified on finding this Way Down and how it's changed our lives and a relationship with you. And we have pictures of you with the kids and you're holding them, and it is precious. But I'm telling you, the biggest thing that hit me from those classes way back then is Gwen said, never give up. And so really that's what you're looking at, never give up. And I'm not saying that there's not...
That should have been the title of the book. You know, I messed up, didn't it? Because honestly, because people hear me, they hear my voice saying that. Never. The only thing you can do wrong is give up. You can't give up. And that's why we're saying get started.
Yeah. You said it that way. It's the only thing you can do wrong is to give up. So, of course, I don't want to give up. I never gave up. I'm not going to give up. And it's not hard, because why would you give up something that's working so good and you're so blessed by God? I didn't really understand what being blessed by God was back then, but I do now.
Yeah.
Blessings instead of curses.
Oh.
And to listen to your words and everything that you say, and you follow it, and we get to believe it in our hearts and then live it out.
That's so beautiful.
It is beautiful. I'm very grateful.
We're all very grateful. It's all God, and God has done it all. Thank you. I mean, it's beautiful. Who would have thought? You know, who would have thought? And so all of us, and we're all just getting closer and closer. I mean, you know, the point of this, and this is probably one of the calmest book launches on the planet. You know, there's no hype. It's all real. It's all legit. and genuine. And what we're trying to say is that you can have this too. No one has to wait. It's all right there. And why not get started? Don't wait for January. This is, and they don't really understand what we mean when we say it's not hard, because it's, for some people, they still have two masters, and so it's hard. But when you stay in reading, and you're reading, and you're reading these testimonies, and you keep going through it, then what happens is the next thing you know, you don't consider it difficult because your mind's focused on God and what He wants. And so that denial is like, you embrace it because it's a joy. It's a joy to do it for God. It's a complete joy. And so, but it's for men, huh, guys? Absolutely. It's not just women. I mean, the men have actually led the way in so much of without the men backing this up. Yeah, the wives would take it home, but the husbands back there analyzed it and would come back in there and say, well, this is the one program you've done that seems logical. And so
I could tell you that, I mean, what Rob said about watching his wife, I mean, that's how I found this, was watching Candace. And, she never pushed anything on me. She just changed in front of me. It was a constant change. And we were doing what I thought was exactly the same thing. But it was obviously not, because everything that fell off of her landed on me. Literally, I'm not kidding. She would lose 5 and I would gain 5. And so I could tell you that at that time that I came into Way Down, a combination of the book and the Way Down advanced class was what completely set me free. And I honestly can't even imagine if I hadn't found that back then, because I would be putting a hurting on this chair right now, and I would, the pride would be knocking everybody off the stage. So just what a miracle save it was after trying all these different things that nothing worked. And something that Therese said was the love, and it was when I saw you talking about God in the videos, and how you talked about Him in the book. I had never heard anybody talk like that before, except for Jesus Christ, about the love. Everyone must know, I love the Father. Just the talking about how much you love God, and it was compelling, it was convicting, it was moving. And so by teaching us the how-to, because I think about all the stuff I read in my life, like books and magazines and newspapers and stuff, it was either for entertainment or it was for something that I was reading to try to get ahead in business, or to try to meet people, or to network and this kind of stuff. So it was either entertainment or something that was going to give me money, but not, or change my business. But this was like changing my life. It was changing every aspect of it. And then you're learning how to connect with God, so you're getting His Spirit. And so this love is pouring in. And once you tap into love, like everything changes. You're not only your weight falls off and you're pulled to all that, but your love for everybody around you, your marriages, it's contagious. Because my family. So Candace was the first one who did it. And then it was me after that, and then like my sister and my mom and my cousin. And so when you start to add it all up, it's over 300 pounds for the family. And so much has happened when I look back over the years with the family, all the different rescues, if you will, and just life changes. But ultimately it came down to that love that you had for God, and then the know-how. I had the Bible. I like to read the Bible a lot. I was underlining it and racing through it. And then all of a sudden this how-to, put all these scriptures into practice, starting with loving God and what that looked like. And then this how-to of how to break free from the pull of food to transfer it all over to God and His kingdom. It's just revolutionary. It's not out there. It's here. There's 40, 50,000 pounds of weight loss in the church. There's so many healed and repaired families and marriages and finances, and people hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, completely freed, and children that were out of control, and there was no peace in the home, and there's a completely peaceful home now. When you look at the changes, it's staggering. And you've said it before, Mayo Clinic can't produce this. And so like Rob said before, you did this years ago, And now there's just evidence. I mean, if somebody, I guess the thing is, if somebody wants to be set free, if they want the help, there's literally a few thousand people that would get on the phone with you right now and say, I did it, stick with it, listen to what's written in there, take the class, do this, read the book, get around people that are going after it to encourage you, and listen to what Gwen's teaching. Because we're living, if you want, we can tell you where we were and where we are now, and it's just so drastic, the changes. And the friends that we have, like you just said, like we got the best friends in the world. And I love this place. I mean, this place is amazing. And I always love that Beth Ancona said, my best friend is the one I'm with that, you know, when the person I'm with right there. And that's the way.
Everybody's your best friend.
Like you walk in this place and you just want to hug everybody and you want to talk to everybody. And so just, anyway, we can't thank you enough for seeking God and this relationship with God and penning it down.
But I know God has done it all. He has really worked hard to put all this stuff together and to raise us all in a way that, you know, he's not made it where it's easy or, you know, there's been a lot of obstacles to see what's in your heart. So this is definitely a heart thing. Once you get into the heart, you'll lose your weight. I promise you that. And that's what this is about. So, Rob, I know.
I was just, when I saw the picture of the three of them, I don't know if they have that, if they can put that back up. But, you know, here they are 20 years ago in that picture, if it pops up. The one with the three of them, they had the before and after. There they are 20 years ago, and here they are 20 years later. And I'm just thinking there's people out there watching this that with one decision, they literally within months can have their weight off. And the next 20 years of your life is going to happen. I mean, it's going to happen, you know, if you get 20 more years to live. It's just where you're going to end up. Are you going to end up in a picture like that, where you can look back 20 years ago, that's when I lost my weight. 20 years later, it's still off, and I still got the same friends, and I have this incredible life? Or do you want to roll the dice and see where you end up because you take some other path? And when you got this much, you know, when you got this much evidence and this many changed lives, I don't know why you'd take a chance on anything else. And so I'm grateful that you put this book out. I know it's going to change, I believe, millions of lives, you know, going forward. And so, you know, like Ted said, we are very grateful that God has led you to do this and relaunch a new book, because it is so powerful, because it is one of the only things out there that can truly show that it stood up to the test of time.
Well, 20 years later, there's more insights and all that, even though the foundational things are the same. So you don't have to worry about that. That was there, but more motivation, more insights. And so we are, you know, just grateful to have something that God put together that was valid then and now. Like you say, it took faith to launch it in the beginning. Now it's not faith. Your words were. It's reality. It's evidence. You have the evidence is right here in front of you. The evidence was on the stage tonight. The evidence up here. We are so grateful. So grateful. And all of you guys out there are evidence. And now our children are evidence. And we're so thankful to have found God's path to overcoming. And it works. And Way Down not just works for weight. Way Down works. It works for relationships. It works for your spiritual walk. It works for health. It works for all of it, because it is all about turning to God and turning to God His way. And God was never gave in the Bible a list of things, you know, to eat and not to eat. He programmed that inside of you. And so right in here is what you got to get into and listen and slow down and get in there, because if you do that, you're not different. You just got to take the time to do it. So stop now and get started on what God really wants you to do. And when you do that, that is what works. So thank you, guys. Thank you for your testimony. Thank you for putting your name in this book and your pictures in this book. I appreciate that. And endorsing it. So praise God. Thank you for doing this.
blessing for eternity. With our God and His Son Jesus, everything is peaceful and lightness. Happy always.